welcome for another episode of the AWA Agora Show. We are in our season two, third episode, and really happy to have all of you here. Several faces that we recognize from previous talks, many new ones, and we are thrilled that you could join us. For those of you who have heard this before, please bear with me. I'm going to just give a brief um, view on why we did AW Agora. So, sometime in June, July, when New York City and the rest of the world was reeling with COVID cases, um, one of the biggest things that we were missing was our connect with our friends, our tribe, as we call it. People that we could, meet and talk with and discuss ideas that would facilitate thought leadership and enrich our lives. It didn't matter what profession you came from, what you did for a living, but more about what we could do to change our zeitgeist. So, in conjunction with my team and our producer, Justin, we decided to start this talk show where we would invite people from our big, beautiful circle of friends with topics that were relevant in what was happening around us, right? Um, we started with Agora being once every 2 weeks, and then people were responding so positively to it that we changed the format to once every week. And here we are in our second season with almost 18 speakers, no, 18 plus 2, so 20 speakers. Carolyn would be our 21st speaker today. And we're really happy to host Chaplain Carolyn Jones. She is an incredible human being, and she has devoted her life to helping people, especially with people who have just experienced loss and grief, as we have all been exposed to that over the last year. That somebody that we know has been impacted or has left us, and um, clearly, there's healing to be done. And she's an incredible human being, and she is part of the New York Chaplain Task Force. Spent many years of her life working with uh, people with terminal illnesses and also families of people who have left us. Um, so thrilled to have her here with us. She is based here in New York City, like I am. And we actually met, interestingly, though she was when I met her, I used to live in Brooklyn too, and we were probably 4 miles apart in Brooklyn, but never met here. And we end up in a conference in Oslo. Only two people from Oslo, Norway. Only two people from New York City, both from Brooklyn, and and Oslo, beautiful city, fantastic experience. And then she and I, got along on many levels. And we were just discussing before you all joined us that we didn't imagine that we would have that kind of interaction that we've shared over the past 3 years or so. So please join me in welcoming Chaplain Carolyn Jones. Hi, Carolyn. It's good to have
Hi, how you doing?
you. Very good. It's
Good,
okay if I call
good.
you Carolyn, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Super, super,
I
super.
insist.
Welcome. I'm so glad that you could make it.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up. We're going
Yes.
to show up and show out today. hmm And
So,
Justin, thank you for keeping me organized.
yeah, he's good at that. He keeps everybody organized. Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you
Well,
get on this path of healing? Uh,
yes, well, it seems as I've interviewed other healers along the way, it's basically the same path, needing healing myself. So, having suffered abuse through childhood and even in adulthood, I found myself on a trajectory of bitterness and resentment and low self esteem. And I didn't want to be that way.
Mm.
So I started seeking. And in 1972, I read a book called You're Okay, I'm Okay. And it was by Thomas Harris. And it's a classic bestseller. It really, the message bears repeating today.
Mm.
And what it got me to understand is that everyone makes mistakes. And it's just a matter of regrouping yourself and continuing to be a seeker,
Mm.
seeker of truth, and redesigning yourself and becoming who you want to be. So I started researching. This is over many years of research.
Mm.
Uh, my main therapy was bibliotherapy because, you know, therapy back in the day was, you were considered ready for a straitjacket, you know. But now it's more accepted, and it became more accepted over the years. So I chose bibliotherapy. I use books to correct any character deficiencies, okay? And I've come across many thought leaders in that area over time. And today I wanted to share them with you through the book that I have published called Pick Up Your Bed and Walk.
Mm.
Self-care guide to improve health. Because once I found out that attitude affects health and I wanted to be healthy, I knew I had to start at the root.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it
And this
started.
book is available on Amazon, yeah?
Yes, it is. The
Oh,
link is in the chat.
fantastic.
Mhm,
Fantastic.
mhm,
But tell me, I have a question about this.
mhm.
There are so many books that one can read, and everybody finds their own path in terms of the books that will impact them the most. But what was the process that you followed in internalizing the lessons that you were reading? You know, was it that you woke up every morning and spent a few hours doing your sadhana, doing your focus study, or was it a different process? So love to hear how it worked for you as you grew from 1972 as a healer.
Yes. Well, what's very interesting is the reading and text that got me on the path and made me strong was the 23rd Psalm. You know, I recited it something like 50 to 100 times a day just to keep myself balanced and grounded. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I just knew it brought me peace. But
Mm,
then as I researched and I stayed in the library
mm,
and looked at different books and latched myself on to different healers, I just was desperate to be better. So there was no real process like I'm going to get up 5 o'clock in the morning
mm,
and I'm going to do this.
mm,
I just started journaling, you know, and I would look back at my journal. And over the years, you see the improvement and you say, that's who I was then, you know?
mm.
Oh, okay, I have changed. So a lot of times when we don't journal, we don't see the change. But when you write it out and you read, you realize that you're no longer that person. So no matter how anyone tries to paint you, you know that you have changed.
Right. So
Mhm.
journaling and just sheer willpower, saying that this is the path I'm taking of bibliotherapy and staying with it every day or as time permitted, but
Right.
just the willpower. So basically what you're saying, it's all in your mind and willpower to absorb. And like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So that's, I
Right.
guess, what happened with the books that were offered. That's fantastic. Thank
Right. And finding myself in places
you.
where the message was being delivered for self-improvement.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
All of you should follow what's happening on chat. There are many beautiful messages coming in. So please feel free to put in your questions. We will have time at the end of the talk to take questions from the audience. And I believe, Carolyn, you have slides that you would like to share with us.
I would love to. Thank
Fantastic.
you. Mhm.
Good.
So the topic for today, as you know, is be healed. That's my desire for everyone to just be healed, whatever part, you know, start small. and choose one thing that you want to improve and move on from there. Jim Rohn is a motivational speaker who said, "You represent the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," you know? So it's very important that we look around us, spot check, and see if the people who are around you represent who you want to represent. And let it be a diverse group of people, you know, diverse interests, diverse races, you know, unify and come together. We can't make it without unity. We just can't. We're all here together. And to be separate is to die a death on earth, you know, before you even lay down. That's not good. So I love Stephen Covey. He was one of the people that I researched and really internalized and taught, actually, about the circle of concern, the circle of influence, and they added circle of control. So the circle of concern is where you're reactive, you judge, and you're full of stress all the time. Then in the circle of influence, you're proactive and you're principled and you seek to understand and you're respectful. In the circle of control, you're mindful and you learn from your errors. You choose gratitude. That's something else that I did. I started writing in a gratitude journal about what I was grateful for, no matter how little I had. The smallest thing, you know, even if I go outside and a cat spreads some love on me, that's something to be grateful for. The animal world is important, you know. Apologize when you're mistaken. And of course, getting enough rest, eating properly, that feeds into how you think. So you need to monitor the messages that you receive so that your energetic spiritual body will not find itself victimized by lower vibrations and toxic personalities. Because you want to keep, number one, your immune system strong, but you want to keep the immune system in your spiritual body strong as well.
Hey, Carolyn, I have a quick question on that slide. Very cool concept that I learned from you, which is loyalty about your own thoughts. Is that connected with the statement here? In that,
Yes, absolutely. Because, and I see Jennifer mentioned the 4 agreements in the chat. You cannot speak badly about yourself. You can't go against yourself. And a lot of times people, you know, denigrate themselves in their speech. I'm so stupid. I'm crazy. No, you're not. You're not stupid. You're not crazy. You are worthy. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of friendship, and you're worthy of abundance. You're worthy of all good things. So if you don't allow that to come alive in your speech, how else will it come alive? You know, it only starts with you. So it's Stephen Covey said, if you want to retain those who are present, always remain loyal to those who are absent. And that says that backbiting will attract that kind of energy to you, you know? So you want to keep your speech about others as pure behind their back as you do to their face. So I want to ask everyone if you're nurtured by a reliable support system of individuals with diverse interests and values. Okay. And that's easily corrected. It's just a matter of being mindful about who you are and where you are. This is a thought leader that I absolutely adore. Deepak Chopra, he specializes in endocrinology. He's a licensed physician, and he is an alternative medicine advocate now. He left that practice to be an alternative medicine advocate. He says, every time you're tempted to react in the same old way. Ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. Okay. So that means that you have to do some introspection and see if your life is on the track that suits you. Are you headed in the direction you want to go? Is your present keeping you prisoner, or are you progressing and inventing a new self? I think it's very important to invent new selves along the way. This is a long life. Why would you want to bore yourself with being the same old person? What do you think? Yes?
I, I think it's incredible. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Louise Hay is another thought leader. She says, and maybe you'll repeat this with me, everyone. I experience love wherever I go. Loving people fill my life, and I find myself easily expressing love to others. Okay. I don't know about you, but I just feel a warm energy come over my body when I repeat those words.
Yes. And she was an incredible authoress who helped so many with her analysis and her books, you know. And yes, it's a very powerful saying that she has. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, Carolyn.
Yes, thank you. So this is one of the poems in my book. It's entitled As Above, So Below. Calling all angels, divine sources, shower our crown, heal divine forces, heart, mind, and spirit, no regret to feel. Ask your soul for all of your life paths reveal. Through signs and through symbols, build a strong gate around your innocence, protected from hate. Purveyors of greed will steal your ration. Just blanket yourself with love and compassion. Ride the clouds, reaching a higher rung. Everlasting dreamscape for hopes so far flung. A heavenly chariot, promise winged embrace. For as above, so below, we win with grace. And, you know, I wrote that poem because we do win with grace. We're all here by grace. We've had a horrible year in 2020 of seeing people leave. As a matter of fact, yesterday I just found out a dear neighbor of mine passed on. She healed from a hip injury and passed on from COVID in the nursing home. So, you know, life is very fleeting and we have just this time to love. We have to take this time to love. Robert Moss. I have had prophetic dreams and I've spoken to many people who have had prophetic dreams, and I suspect all of us have if we pay attention to them. Robert Moss is a dream scholar who travels all over the world teaching people how to heal themselves through their dreams. And I chose one of his many quotes. He's written many, many books. I really encourage you to look him up. He says, when you're gripped by fear in the face of an experience that will take you beyond your comfort zone, you may be at a point of supreme opportunity. You can either break down or break through. I think we choose to break through. This is Queen Afua. Many of you may know her. She wrote, her first book was Heal Thyself. And she's an herbalist based in Brooklyn. What I loved about her workshop, she would always encourage us to keep our hearts light as a feather. And I thought this quote from her was so beautiful. There's a cosmic conversation going on within, but you have to be quiet to hear this sweet language of the unspoken. And so many times, you know, if we just take a moment to be quiet and allow positive thoughts to flow through our mind. But first, you know, as I've said often, you have to feed yourself positivity. If you feed yourself negativity all the time, when you're quiet, that's what's going to show up. So by keeping yourself fed with positivity and love, you can hear that sweet language that she refers to. And that means we listen to our heart. I wrote this poem in honor of our heart. It's called Heart Medicine. Blood flows through that pumping sweet spot. Billions of beats, life of lifetimes forgot. Topsy and turvy, losses and gains. When the storm leaves, the foundation remains. Silence can soothe you. Seek out the quiet. Banish all pain. Make love with your diet. Alkaline red liquid moves you to health. You already know therein lies your wealth. Acidic, we fall. Choose the right grocer. Please listen, take heed, or disease will come closer. You've shattered promises with sneaky snacks. You have painful joints and achy backs, fading smiles, grimace faces, broken hearts, and defunct places. Open your eyes, herbs are your friend. Nature is waiting. Go deep within. Fortify your heart, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon blend. Drink milk that's golden. Spices help you transcend. With every sip, let joy resound. Meditate on heart medicine. It won't let you down. And that's just my way of gently getting people to really consider what they take into their bodies, because people don't necessarily want you to change their diet. They like what I know, I love to eat, but to be mindful is very important. And my mentor and friend, Matthew Wood, I just love him to death, registered herbalist, wrote many, many books featured in many, many texts. He says simply get plenty of rest and hydration. And I really, really advise you to check him out. He is deeply involved in research about herbs that treat COVID symptoms, and also that help prevent COVID through the building of the immune system. I had COVID in April. I wouldn't admit to it. I just took care of the symptoms with herbs. And after all was said and done, how I found out it was definitely COVID, I had the antibody test, and they let me know that that's what it was.
Which part of April did you have COVID in? Like the beginning or the end?
Oh, it was in, when you say when, you mean what part of the year?
No, like I got COVID on April 4th.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was wondering if you got it the same day.
Mine showed up on the 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, it showed up. It started with a sore throat. How did yours start off?
Mine was that I was delivering food to people who needed it. And I got it probably at Trader Joe's or I don't know. I can't say,
But how did the symptoms show up?
Breathlessness, not being able to smell, and being completely wiped out.
Oh,
But
completely
was the one
wiped
that
out. Yeah.
a little bit of sore throat, a little bit of sinus, all that. But not being able to breathe was the tough one.
Yeah, that is tough. And just so you know, herbs like teasel, I actually use teasel tincture. Teasel pushes things out. Yeah. So I was able to push the mucus out of my body. And the most important thing is to not let it get to your lungs, to keep it up. So I had a lot of congestion, but I kept it up with peppermint, eucalyptus, a lot of aromatherapy. I broke my fever using peppermint oil, You take a hot bath and then rub the peppermint oil on your feet and put on socks and dress really warm. And it helps break the fever. I
Right.
didn't know I had a fever until my lips started peeling really badly.
Mm.
But yes, it was something to experience. And,
Yeah.
recklessness, wear your masks. It's simple.
Mhm.
If that's all it takes to at least experience some level of protection,
Right.
do that. But also the washing of your hands and keeping your immune system strong. Don't think just because you're walking around that and you feel healthy that it's okay, because and by now, I don't know if I work in a funeral home
Mhm.
as an aftercare counselor, and I don't think we mentioned that. Yeah. And I see things about COVID that they're reporting on the news. The blood clots are real, and it's a sudden affliction.
Right.
You don't know. You're walking around fine, and next thing you know, you're out.
Right.
So take your herbs, drink, they're delicious. Throw some hibiscus in there, put some raw honey in there. But also, I have a friend, Barry Burton, I have to give him a shout out because he got me on black seed oil. Yeah, it tastes like motor oil. Yes, it does. But I found a way to cut it.
Yeah.
So I mix it with water, and I may put some tea, my favorite tea with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes it doable.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's a whole lot of grimacing going on.
Right. No, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing. I know that we have viewers today from all over the world. And
Hmm.
I know for several who are dialing in from India that they
Yeah,
are used to having spices as part of their everyday routine. So, whether it's turmeric or ginger, which are all good things for your immune system.
that's right.
Um, you know,
I
uh,
love Ayurvedic medicine.
yeah, that's how I healed myself. I did Ayurvedic all the way through. Um, you know, uh,
Wonderful.
but it's really interesting that, I wish more people would know about that. Black seed oil is phenomenal. Uh, and I wish more people would know about this. So I'm glad
Yes,
that you're here and we're talking about this. Super.
yes, it's a must. It really is. So I'm not going to read obviously all of this, but I just want to have you be aware of the different therapies that are at your disposal. Acupressure, acupuncture, you've heard of those, aromatherapy, art therapy, auricular therapy. So auricular therapy is massaging the ears. So why don't we just massage our ears for a minute? Take a moment, massage your ears. Come on. Don't be shy. Do both of them, Abhay.
Hmm.
It feels great. It feels so good. I might not be able to continue. Ow.
Especially when you get the Shenmen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get those lobes. Feels really good. When you massage your ears, you're massaging the organs in your body. It's another form of reflexology. Colon therapy, keep your colon cleansed. In Ayurvedic medicine, it's called ama, the buildup in the colon. It begins to leak through your intestinal wall and it causes disease.
Right.
So, you're right, keep it flushed. Color therapy. I have my little set, Oot. Yes, I do, that you gave me when we were in Oslo. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. I miss you. And Mark Wentworth, he's a color therapist. He didn't say that. Maybe he said it before, but he didn't say that. But it matched his beautiful pillows. So I put them together. I met him in Oslo. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Dust off your dreams. Keep them dusted off. They'll emerge. Just feed them. Some more therapies, crystal therapy, dance movement, energy tapping. Let's take a moment. Let's get our lymph moving. Come on, get under those arms. Get your lymph moving. Don't be shy. Get them. That's your health. And we have flower essence therapy. Dr. Bach, I live for Dr. Bach. And I use the rescue remedy for my clients at the funeral home to help them with their trauma and their anxiety, because loss is trauma. Herbology, live for that. Today I made some lemongrass cinnamon tea. It's delicious. Hydrotherapy, I love a bubble bath. Light therapy, wonderful. Massage therapy. And I found out about salt cave therapy and float therapy. That's something else. It's not in the book, but it is definitely something else to try. Now, I think all of you know who this handsome man is, and I thought, and I thought it wonderful to put this wonderful sunflower opening up to show the opening of the heart. That's one thing that when we had conversations in Oslo, I found Abhay to be such a spiritual being, and his heart was so open. He draws you in. And when I found this quote from Rumi saying the wound is the place where the light enters you, through this picture, I just saw the light emanating from Abhay's heart and through the flower. So that's why I put it together like that. Thank you again, Abhay.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Thank you. I was going to say that the guy looked vaguely familiar, but thank you.
You know him. And some more.
It's a process. I said I'm getting to know him. It's a process. Yeah.
Yes, it's a lifetime process to get to know ourselves, but it's a wonderful journey.
Yes.
Some more therapies: meditation, music, nutrition, reflexology. And in mentioning reflexology, I want to just show you the little foot here. I know sometimes we have sciatica issues, and I just want to show you that when you massage this area along the ankle, can everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you go up, all the way up the leg to the hip, you will relieve that pain and you can get rid of it. So right here, you pinch yourself right there. If you don't have anyone to do it for you, just massage and all around the ankle. I really wanted to share that with you because sciatica pain is really a monster when you let it go too far. If you can catch it at the beginning, it'd be great.
Yep.
Vitamin therapy and yoga therapy are also wonderful. I love Kundalini yoga. That's my favorite form. So one of the therapies that I did not put in the book, but I used it and used it a lot. Matter of fact, what I urge people to do, like if you wake up in the middle of the night, don't agonize about the fact that you woke up. Find some type of an oracle or exercise or journaling exercise to work with, and your body will naturally take you back to sleep. However, herbs that help with insomnia are mugwort, ashwagandha, and a good herb for depression is St. John's wort. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the Gayatri prayer states, "You who are the source of all power, whose rays illuminate the world, illuminate also my heart, so that it too can do your work." And that prayer is attached to the rune stone that I have circled that I pulled the other day, Suelo, Sowelo. And I just think it's such a beautiful message to speak to the universe, to attract the energies you need in your life. So if you would, you have a little lesson to some homework. Could you please put an I am affirmation in chat for me? I want you to take this moment to love on yourself and put an I am affirmation.
And while we're doing that, we have two questions.
Mhm.
One is, how can you remember? This just came in. How can you remember your dreams after you wake up? And the second question is, um, for those of us who are, either know people who are recovering from COVID, or have lost somebody near and dear, um, what can they be doing through natural remedies?
Okay. Thank you for both those questions. And the first one, repeat it for me.
The first one is, it's all of the informations are coming in. One second, I got to scroll up. Give me a second.
Mhm.
How can you remember your dreams after you
Right.
wake?
I'm sorry. One thing that Robert Morris teaches is if you happen to not remember your dream, feel feel within yourself how you feel when you get up. How are you feeling when you wake up from the dream?
Mm,
Now, he explains that with practice of intention before you go to bed, intend to remember your dream.
mm,
Now, I find of late, when I first started taking his workshops, I wasn't remembering dreams at all.
mm,
Um, and the spiritual texts say that's a sign of soul loss. As you retrieve your soul, you begin to remember your dreams. And
uh-huh.
you have to journal. You keep a pad and a pen next to the bed. Now, he does explain that it takes a lot of lost sleep to do that. So my method is to just write down snippets when I awaken. But to intend to remember is the beginning. To journal is the second step.
Mm,
I hope that, but to read Robert Moss, I would really urge you to read. There's a whole system to remembering your dreams, and it's worth researching. Now, regarding the COVID issue
mm,
and loss, it's different for everyone because it affects everyone differently.
right.
Some people lose people and they're unable to see them, to be with them before they pass on, or they have to use Zoom.
Mm,
Uh, at the funeral home, many services are being done by Zoom now,
mm, mm,
In a way, it's a positive because people from out of town can participate, you know.
mm,
But on the other hand, it really stops the ability for people to be physical and hug and cry literally on each other's shoulders and stuff. In caring for someone who is coming out of COVID, depending on their symptoms and depending on what medications they're taking, they would really need to speak with an herbalist
mm.
and get a whole body wellness consultation. You
Yes.
know, there's no one approach for everyone. That's why I think pharmaceuticals, and look, I'm into integrative medicine. I believe in that. But how we could believe that one medicine can treat millions of people for the same illness just doesn't make any sense because we're unique beings, you
Yes.
know, and we show up differently, just like COVID is showing up differently in people. Some people get blood clots.
Yes.
Some people are affected through their kidneys. Some
Right.
people are affected through their lungs. Some people are affected through their brain. So each person would require a different approach.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I tell my friends when they say, "What did I do besides the Ayurvedic and the natural therapies?" I said, the one of the biggest things for me, well, two things. One was switch the TV off, Don't
Mhm.
because remember at that time we were talking about insane
Mm.
number of deaths every day. And the second was pranayam, doing breathing exercise that we do in yoga.
Mhm.
That really helped me. But I would say if there's one thing that you have to do, don't watch TV, especially
Mhm.
with today's this thing.
And that's so interesting because I had Cuomo on. I was waking Cuomo up in the morning because he had to tell me what was going on, you know. So I
I
had sort of like a I need to know attitude, you know. But after a while, yes, the quiet was necessary. You know, once I got that 11 o'clock information, then I did cut it off. Yeah.
Yeah, there no there's great there are great things to be said for people who were positive and reinforcing in that we will come out of this, and then there was all the others, which was 90% of media. Anyways, that's kind of getting into the political spectrum, but the point is, that I think what you captured is that everyone's different,
Mhm.
and somebody who's recovering should really see a herbalist so that because you're not saying that don't take the medicines, don't
Right.
take, well, you're saying, yeah, that's fine, but everyone's different. We need our bodies to adapt and respond to the situation per who we are, you know. So I think in that it's really, really helpful. Now, I just want to check very quickly if there are any further questions. Um, Otherwise, I just want to do a quick word of thanks for you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for choosing this noble profession of helping people. I think the world is definitely better off with what you are doing. It really is really compelling how your knowledge and wisdom can help people at so many levels. So we wish you all the best. We hope to see you again on our show. And, I believe you have um, another seminar coming up that maybe you can tell the audience. And the one other thing is, how do they get in touch with you if they wish to talk more? So if you could just elaborate on those two things, it'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you so much for having me, giving me the opportunity to speak to the people. Yes. Um, I have a pandemic series. It's called the Healing Project Pandemic Series. We started it in September of last year. And the theme is detoxification. So in each workshop, I talk about the detoxification of a particular part of the body. And for February, I thought it apropos that we detoxify our genitals. So I invited Ola Obasi. She is an herbalist. She's out of Africa and she lives in Puerto Rico.
Mm.
And she has a free clinic there. And she'll be coming in to talk to men and women about how to keep their genitals in optimum health. Okay?
That's
Can't beat
fantastic.
that. Can't beat that.
That's fantastic.
And last year we did, and the classes are available, after the fact. We did the blood, the lymph, and the colon. We did the joints, and we did the mind. So we just finished in January the lungs with Matthew Wood. hmm
That's
So that's what
fantastic.
we have coming up. And the website for the events are on chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the link for Pick Up Your Bed and Walk is on the chat as well. Mhm.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you again, Carolyn. This is all we have time for. This was such a great conversation. And thank you
I
for,
thoroughly enjoyed.
yes, me too. Me too. And thank you to our producer, Justin Mensch, for putting together another seamlessly produced show. The recording for this show will be available in a week on the same YouTube channel that features all of the AWA Agora recordings. And we will be back here next week, next Thursday, same time, with another amazing talk with Dr. Mariana Figueroa of Mount Sinai, where She's going to talk about how light can impact your health on many different levels, including cancer and other ailments. So hopefully you will join us. And again, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Justin. And thank you to all of you who attended today. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.